able to eject any member from this committee. What we can do is just to bring that matter to the attention of the Speaker of Parliament. That is what the rules empower us. So the matter which General Sibiya raises is different from participation in the committee. He is saying in the records that you have in the courts and the police, the complainant is Honorable Skosan. And so do you allow him to ask me questions? And I respond. And where I'm sitting as the chairperson, I can't prescribe how the questions must be answered. I can't force the witness to say, you are going to answer in this way. And that is why I say, if Honorable Skosana is going to ask questions, let's allow him to ask the questions that he has and hear what the responses of the witness are. If the witness says, no comment, that is a response. It's a response. Because we must not run these proceedings in such a way that we become unfair to a member of parliament, or we also become unfair to the witness. And if you remember, I have been emphasizing this point that the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa is written in the name of the citizens of this country. That is how it is written. It's in the name of the citizens. So when General Sibiya appears before us as a committee of parliament, he does not forfeit his status as a citizen of this country. And the honorable member as well is a citizen. I think what the honorable members from the MKP, if they feel that there may be a problem, they may decide to ask the same questions through another honorable member. But I mean, you are going to put the chair in a very difficult position if every time a question has been asked, especially that when we started the proceedings, General Sibiya put it on record here and said, you must know that I'm getting into these proceedings under protest. It's not something that he's raising now. So can I get indication from you, honorable members from the MKP, if you want to proceed, Honorable Skosana, to ask or you pass your questions to?
Thank you, Chair. It will depend on the response from the witness. If the question which I have, as you said, if you say no comment, I'm going to leave those questions. There's a lot of questions besides that, but I just want to say here, Chair, before you allocate me the minutes, I don't want us to mislead the nation and the members, honorable members, that I am talking to General Mkhwanazi. That statement alone is misleading. I sit in the South African Police Service Portfolio Committee here. I mean, dealing with South African Police Service. I sit in the Police Portfolio Committee. I deal with everyone across the board, from the minister to the top management of South African Police Service, and to the ordinary member, a complainant on the ground.
Yeah.
So it can't be right to say, maybe I'm a friend, maybe no, I'm not a friend.
You are raising
I'm at work.
You are raising a valid point, Honorable Skhosana, and let's get Honorable Sibiya to withdraw that part that says you opened a case because you are talking to General Mkhwanazi.
Order, Chair. Can I raise a point of order? Chair, I don't think it would be correct for you to direct a witness how to answer or what he must do. He's made the point, and I think you rather want to ask him if he wants to withdraw it. Because now it looks like you are saying to General Sibiya, withdraw that. So maybe you want to ask whether he thinks he wants to withdraw it. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. General Sibiya, when you made a statement how you feel about Honorable Skhosana asking you questions, you made an additional statement apart from the protest that you registered with us. You made an additional statement that goes to say he opened the case because he talks to General Mkhwanazi. Do you stand by that statement? I think it's what the honorable member is asking me to check with you.
Yeah, I stand by the statement for simple reasons. The fact that the honorable member went and opened a case, and then the next thing, the details of the case and the statement and everything is what the investigating officer of the case is using in applying for a search warrant. As far as I'm concerned, there has been communication. And I'm not doing it to disrespect the House. If ever, in one or another, it gets to a point where I'm regarded of being out of order, I really apologize and I would withdraw if that is the case. But if I'm not wrong, may I be allowed to still stand to that statement? Because remember, Chair, that there have been marches against me as well from the MK party. And it's the same MK party that opens a case against me. And the MK party, it was in support of General Mkhwanazi. The march was saying in support of General Mkhwanazi. And then now again, the MK party opened a case against me. And now I'm standing before an honorable member and who's now must ask questions from me. And these are the questions of which the honorable member statement or what he was mentioned in the papers that conducted the search and seizure at my house. So to me, Chair, is deeply involved in this whole thing that is going on, unfair thing that is going on against me. So I feel that here I'm standing in front of.
I think the part that Honorable Sangoni wanted to hear is not the motivation for why you think it will be unfair for him to ask you questions. Is whether you stand by the part that says he talks to General Mkhwanazi.
I stand by that, Chair.
Okay. Do you want to continue, Honorable Skhosana?
Oh yes, I want to continue, Chair.
Before you continue, let me hear Honorable Sols.
Chair, this very thing that's happening now is what that concept wanted to avoid. That if someone is in conflict, because now we are discussing a case that's not part of this process, but it was exactly to avoid that. But my question of clarity on a matter of procedure, I asked it yesterday, but it wasn't responded to after the parliamentary legal advisor gave the legal opinion on the matter. So I just want to have a clear understanding. The advice was, or it sounded like it was, that honorable members on the committee is not required to be impartial. So just for procedure, not specifically for this matter, but in general, are we not required to be impartial? Thank you.
Okay. Look, we must move forward. Don't ask the chair the questions that he does not have answers. Let me tell you, honorable members.
Chair, can I just say, sorry?
Yeah.
I'm not asking you specifically.
Yeah, let me tell you how this thing is. The rules that we have say that any matter which we may pick up must be brought to the attention of the Speaker of Parliament. And sitting like this as a committee of Parliament, I have said that we don't have any authority, neither of us. I can't instruct Honorable Skosana out of this meeting. Neither can I instruct any other member of the committee. I don't have those powers. It will be arbitrary if we want to try and do. We find ourselves in a situation like this, a situation which we do not know how to extricate ourselves unless the Speaker gives a directive. And remember, as a chair of the committee, I can't write to the Speaker of Parliament without your consent. That's why there is a need for a committee meeting first and say, we now write to the Speaker of Parliament, we tell her that this is what is happening. General Sibiya was here before us. He registered a protest in the proceedings as the Speaker of Parliament because the rules say we must report the matter to you. We reported the matter to you, and then we will wait to hear from you how we must proceed. For now, to save these proceedings, let's allow the honorable members to ask questions to General Sibiya. May I finish? Honorable Sols. Yeah, your hand can go down. I'm going to allow you a chance to speak. We allow the honorable members to ask General Sibiya questions, and General Sibiya will respond. Yeah. And if you are not happy with any response that he gives, you can raise your hand and say, but is there anything that you further that you may want to say, General Sibiya? And then he will tell you, yes, I have more that I can say, or I have nothing more to say. Honorable Sols.
Yes, Chair. I'm asking on a matter of procedure for how we're going to move forward, because the honorable member from the MKP based his response on the advice given by the parliamentary legal advisor. And that advice was that we are not required to be impartial. So apart from this here, I want to know procedurally as we go forward, is it true or correct that we are not expected to be impartial for procedure? Then
it's not for me to rule on that matter. The Speaker of Parliament, the office of the Speaker of Parliament, is the one that will respond to matters like this. That is why
then, Chair, you should say
I want to plead with honorable members that the situation that we face is our situation. It's not the situation of the chairperson of the committee. The rules of this house say take all these matters and elevate them to the office of the Speaker. And in your terms of reference, honorable members, are saying that you are the ones who take decisions on any matter. So the chair will wait for that moment when you have taken a decision as an ad hoc committee that a letter has to be written to the Speaker to inform her office about these developments. And so for now, I'm going to request that we proceed. I'm requesting you, honorable members, that we proceed.
So for clarity, Chair, that means for now, we should not base any of our actions on that advice until we hear from the Speaker. Is that what we're saying? We are ignoring the advice.
The committee must hear what the Speaker of Parliament is saying. Your rules say bring the matter to the attention of the Speaker. That must be the understanding. Honorable Sangwen.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. And please, my intention is not to derail the proceedings, but I just wanted to say that in terms of the legal advice, well, the legal advice, yes, that we had received yesterday, as well as the legal opinion that we had asked for tomorrow.
The team.
Yeah, I just wanted to find out on that regard. You said Brigadier Litoke, if I remember.
Litoko is
Litoko, yes.
Chief of Staff in the Office of the National Commission.
Yeah. So he gave you a letter. She gave you a letter.
Send a letter.
That letter was signed by who?
It's an email, doesn't need to be signed.
Now, in your office, you have staff in your office, am I right?
Correct.
If your staff is giving one of your divisional co-commissioner or one of the deputy, General Musikili, does your staff have those powers to send and instruct anyone?
100%.
They do have that.
They do.
Now you just said to yourself that there's hierarchy. By nature, police is paralegal, am I right?
Correct.
Now, can a brigadier instruct a general, major general or a lieutenant general?
From that office, a letter and communication that come from the higher office is an instruction of that higher office.
Now, if the NASCOM says to you, I've never given that brigadier that instruction, what would be your response? Have you verified that letter that it was coming direct from the commissioner?
Remember, the NASCOM already indicated that he told them to write letters to the Deputy National Commissioner and say, write a report. So it comes from the National Commission and it's confirmed.
Let me give you a reference. If you remember, on the PEE matters, there's an issue which is in court because some directives were given verbally. So do you agree that if somebody sends a letter which is not signed by the accounting officer, is legit?
I don't know the facts in that PPE matter, but what I have and what I know and the working system and the standard practice is that the National Commissioner, even myself, I'll come and tell the staff officer or the PA and say, I want you to write a letter to General Khumalo. The National Commissioner want to have feedback in relation to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Please send that letter. They are well trained and they know what to write. And they will write the letter and they will send it to me or they'll bring it and say, are you happy with this? Then after I said yes, they will send. So in this case, even all the correspondences, you can check all the correspondence that come from General Brigadier Letoko and General Sebola. They represent the National Commissioner, and this is the standard practice in the police.
General, you've been in the police force for almost 3 decades.
Correct.
Police Act Section 5. Can you just paraphrase for us?
Section
5 of the Police Act.
I need to read it verbatim because I don't know.
No, in verbatim is fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I need to see it because I don't want to quote something wrong. Section 5. What does it remind me? I will then take it from there.
Let me say this to you. You cannot take any directive from a lower level. You can't take an instruction from a brigadier or from a sergeant as a matter of fact, as you said yourself now, that you are senior, but we are saying to us that a brigadier, in fact, even a colonel can give you instructions and say, NASCOM has said that that has to happen. For instance, if a brigadier says to you, NASCOM say you must disband crime intelligence today, are you going to verify that, or are you going to take that instruction?
No, like once a letter of this nature comes from the Chief of Staff of the Office of the National Commissioner, it is an instruction. If a letter comes from Major General Sebola of the National Commissioner's Office, it is an instruction. And if you are not clear about it, or the instruction is somehow illegal or contradictory or concerning, it is my duty now to go and verify with the National Commissioner, because, or I will tell the National Commissioner that NASCOM, I received this document, but do you know the consequences of this, or are you sure this is what you want us to really communicate? Because I know of 1, 2, 3, 4, and this may result into 1, 2, 3, 4. You will say, oh, I think maybe let's put it this way. It's when you think there is a situation.
So according to you, you don't have to sign a letter, even if it's a matter of national importance, as long as it comes from that office. Without verification, you can carry those orders.
You can. If it's lawful, you can.
Thank you. Now, once you were with the municipality, the competency of the vetting, where does that fall to?
It falls with the SSA.
Why when you were the head, you said that this, you were cleared by the municipality security head, the vetting?
Just
in the city of Johannesburg.
And I remember you asked me a question and said the security competency, where does it fall? And I said SSA.
Yes.
And you're asking a question that I think is unrelated a little bit to that what you just asked. I want to understand that question.
You know why I'm asking? When you were at the city of Johannesburg, who vetted you?
SSA.
SSA. So the municipality did not vet you.
The municipality don't have a vetting system in place. I introduced a system whereby all the senior managers of the city must be vetted.
By who?
SSA.
Thank you. Now, let's come to this, General. Intelligence-driven operations and serious targets are kept safe and no need to write the diaries every day, am I right?
There's nothing like that.
Tell us, how does it work?
When you work and you open a docket, it's your job to update your SAP 5, your everything that you do, you write in your pocketbook or in your diary and you update the docket.
Intelligence inquiries dockets are registered to run. The main dockets can be updated only when new information emerges from inquiries or during arrest, am I right?
Repeat that, sir.
Dockets can be updated only when there's new information emerging from inquiries.
No.
No, it should not happen like that.
No. Every day, every now and then, you in your docket, you will write a brought forward date. In other words, every 14 days, you must give feedback to the complainant, but no docket should lie around for more than 3 years. Every 14 days, a docket must receive attention, if you have many.
Now, on the 121 or 118, whatever the number is, you distance yourself from dockets, am I right?
Yes.
You never gave any instruction for those dockets to come to your office or to the office of General Khumalo.
I wrote a letter that says they must be taken to where they belong.
Where do they belong?
Murder and robbery unit.
So it was wrong for those doggets, to agree for those doggets to be removed from where they were supposed to be initially.
No, it was not wrong.
So they did the right thing by removing those doggets and bring them to the office where you said you don't have a safe, you don't have anything. Those doggets gathered dust, and you are not part of it at all.
Remember, the instruction was to have them withdrawn there where they were, to be taken to the relevant office, which is the murder and robbery unit. In other words, from a task team that has been directed to disband to the murder and robbery unit, as even presented by the same team in Parliament and in the very next day in terms of their action plan.
But you said that the task team is not disbanded, am I right? It's still on, it's still going on.
Yes.
Now, why are you saying they were supposed to be taken to another unit?
They were, because remember the whole agreement was that they must disband, but I mean, if they stubbornly refuse to disband, there's nothing one can do.
Is it the responsibility of General Khumalo to keep those doggets?
He was the project manager.
Now, National Commissioner praised General Khumalo, and yesterday you said, in your own word, that he doesn't have the experience, he doesn't have the knowledge. Are you contradicting what National Commissioner has told honorable members and the nation?
If General Khumalo can put an investigation of crime certificate in front of this committee, I will withdraw my words. But if he doesn't have one, it's not an investigator.
Yeah, but my question is, are you contradicting the National Commissioner when he was praising General Khumalo? You are saying the National Commissioner is wrong.
Well, the National Commissioner believes so much in General Khumalo, and what the National Commissioner said is what he said, what I'm not saying.
Yeah, but remember, you are the deputy commissioner. My question is, you don't agree with the National Commissioner in the respect of the competency of General Khumalo. You are questioning his credentials.
No, I say he does not have investigation. And I also said he has done a good job. I've never said he didn't do a good job. But the bottom line is, I'm saying he does not have investigation as training.
General, yesterday you stated many issues here with us when the evidence leader was questioning you. Page 9, paragraph 28 of your core bundle, that when Masemola, as an accounting officer of South African Police Service, asked the Minister Mkhunu to provide reason for his decision to disband PKTT, on the 6th of March, he failed to provide reasons for his decision. In your opinion, do you think it is acceptable for a leader to take such a crucial decision in absence of any stated justification?
Chair, I want to understand where you are coming from. I understand the question so that I can respond. I heard what you say, but I'm trying to make sense out of how you're putting it, or to connect it. So please repeat the question for me.
In page 9 of your bundle,
yes,
paragraph 28.
Page
28.
Page 28. I'm at page 28, paragraph.
No, page 9, page 20. I'm in paragraph 28. Page 9, paragraph 28. There's many bundles anyway, so there's many documents, but on your own bundle.
Paragraph 9, page 9 of my bundle. It doesn't have page 28.
I'm not saying page 28. I'm saying paragraph 28.
Don't have in paragraph, in page 9. It doesn't have, let me see. Let me go.
Look at 12 and then check on 28.
Yes, paragraph, page 12.
Yeah. So the question, let me rephrase it for you to make things easier. General, you stated on that paragraph 28, on your core bundle, when Masemola, as an accounting officer, asked Mkhwanazi to provide reason for his decision to disband PKTT. On the 6th of March, he failed to provide reasons for his decision. In your opinion, I'm just saying in your opinion, let me finish. In your opinion, do you think it is acceptable for a leader to take such a crucial decision in the absence of any justification?
Chair, just a second, Chair. The honorable member is referring me to page 12.
Yes.
Paragraph 28.
Yes.
Can I read it?
No,
because when I look at it, it's not what the honorable member is talking about.
Yeah, the evidence leader will help us on that. But why is he doing that? We'll come back to that. Do you think that Minister Mkhwanazi justification that the task team was established because of an executive decision? Therefore, an executive decision is all that is needed to disband it as a matter of justification to disband the task team.
I would like to leave that response to the National Commissioner, to the Minister.
To the Minister. Does this not create a dangerous precedent, allowing the executive to informally or casually make a withdrawal decision in the absence of justification, in your view?
That question I would like to leave to the Minister.
Okay. During your teenager as acting National Commissioner, you stated in your witness statement that Ms. Vusimuzi Matlala visited you to complain about a tender awarded to him. And you indicated that you will discuss the matter with the National Commissioner upon his return. Why did you deem it necessary to wait for the National Commissioner's return before addressing the matter?
Because it was beyond me.
This time it was beyond you.
Yes.
But remember, on that issue of disbandment, you said, as I said to you earlier, you took a letter from Brigadier Litoke, am I right? Litoko. You took that instruction, am I right?
Correct.
Without verification, am I right?
Correct.
Now, on this one, why you wanted the National Commissioner to give you an approval? Because you were acting National Commissioner.
These are two separate things.
And I know that, but what I'm saying, why do you have on Vusimuzi in particular, but on the matter of national interest, the matter of disbanding, you did not do that?
These are two separate things, completely altogether. The National Commissioner's Office and the communication within the police, this is how it works. Vusimuzi Matlala is not a police official. It's not the top structure of the police. She doesn't have a staff officer that I must listen to. Now, in other words, if you are a minister in the South African Police Service or any minister for any department, you have staff that reports to your office. And that staff, including your PA, is entitled or is empowered or is delegated to write letters on your behalf. And those letters are deemed to be coming from you.
Now, I'm going to sit on that. You chose to act on a directive given by Brigadier Litoko without a consultation with the National Commissioner by virtue of an email, which was an email we know. Do you think that was appropriate to do I'm still asking again. I want you, because you're under oath, to say yes.
Very much appropriate, and this is the standard practice. This is how everybody works in the department, and this is the order of the day. And even the National Commissioner confirmed himself that he did give that instruction to Brigadier Lotoko to write that email.
So you say it's a standard practice in your office for decision of a considerable importance to be taken or communicated by junior staff members?
In the organization.
That's what I'm saying. Are you saying that to us?
It is.
Specifically, it's appropriate for such communication as demonstrated on SB3 of an annexure which your witness statement to be signed off by a junior staff in your office without your own signature. That's how you run the affairs in your office.
Yes.
Leadership failure or disconnecting incinerating officials, in my view. But I will paraphrase for you, General. It seems that there's a lot of matters where you are in disagreement with the assertion made by General Mkhwanazi, as shown in your submission before this committee yesterday. I want to ask you, on the 6th of July, in his media briefing, Mkhwanazi said there are criminal syndicates that have infiltrated law enforcement. Do you agree with him? If you do, please tell us why. And if you don't, please tell us why.
I will never deny that there are criminal syndicates that have infiltrated the police or criminal justice system. It happens on a daily basis in all the provinces, including in KZN, where he is. You do have those people that are connected to the police, that are connected to the prosecutors, that are connected to lawyers. And sometimes they may not be criminals per se, but at the ultimate end, you find that they're involved in criminal activity. But this thing is not unique to Gauteng.
Will you then agree that it presents a serious concern when high-ranking officials within SAPS hold conflicting views on the state of law enforcement in this country, and that disconnect and undermines cohesion, public confidence, and the integrity of our law enforcement?
Agreed.
Do you agree?
Yes.
General, let me come to the issue as well, which you are being accused of for many years. When Senzo Meyiwa was killed, did you went to the scene?
I'm actually happy that I'm being asked on the issue of Senzo Meyiwa, and it's an issue that I wish I could spend time on it to clarify, so that finally South Africans can get to hear the truth. And allow me, Chair, to deal with this Senzo Meyiwa issue. When Senzo Meyiwa, after Senzo Meyiwa was killed, I was the head of the Hawks in Gauteng. I was at home in Pretoria. I got a call from the acting provincial commissioner, who was General Musikiri at that time. I was at home at night. I didn't even know about the shooting. And it was around about 11 at night. And remember, Senzo was killed after 7:30, around about 7:30, early evening. And what I had to do as the head of the Hawks was to call a team to say, let's meet there. It's just like when a serious crime has been committed, we move, we go there. And what happened there is that as we moved, all of us, we got there, I ran straight to hospital. And simply because of the fact Senzo Meyiwa is a national key point, it's a national asset. It's not ordinary member where someone can say someone has been gunned out, then as the head of the house, I'll also go there. But because it was a national goalkeeper, we all had to react, and we went. Even General Musikiri, who was the acting provincial commissioner, we all went and we met at the police station. At the hospital. When I got to the hospital, it was packed, even in the passage, even in the ward where he was lying motionless. And everybody was crying there. Even myself, I could not make my way through into the ward. I saw him lying inside there, but from outside the ward. And then I realized that it won't work. I then said to General Musigiri, I will go to the house where now the investigation must start, because now the investigation process had to start. Now, for the investigation process to start, we then had to go to the scene of crime. When we get to the house where it happened, it was packed. Outside the yard, inside the yard, there was up and down movement in the house. I'm well trained when it comes to investigations. I'm 37 years doing what I'm doing. The very first thing is to take charge of the scene of crime. Mine was to give instructions and say, please secure the scene, preserve the scene. This is a scene of crime. Now the team had to make sure that they remove everybody on site to outside the yard so that it can be cordoned. The scene of crime can be cordoned. Remember, I arrived late at night when this thing happened, almost after 7:30, and the scene was already processed by the officials. It was processed, cleaned. The experts have done their work. Now, when I arrived there, I also found MEC Sizakele Nkosi Malobane and other generals were there. Now, ours, we come here as a fact-finding team. We come in here, we knock, we sit down in the sitting room. It's clean, there's no blood, there's no spotty that you can see, or everything is in place. And then we sit, we listen, we ask questions, what happened? This one explained, this one explained, this one explained, this one explained. This is the normal course of attending to crime scene. The MEC was there also, we were all listening. And then from there, General Musigiri and them arrived from hospital to join us. There were other generals, including General Musigiri. We all listened. And thereafter, it was a question of, General, are you taking it or am I taking it? As the Hawks, do I take the matter to run with or are you taking it? Then she said to me, the National Commissioner was Mayor Ria Pierre then said or suggested that this matter must be investigated by a team of experienced investigators. Now that already took us out of the way. Now we stood by when they made a press conference, a press briefing at that time that says there will be a team appointed to investigate and will run with this matter. We were standing by, no longer involved in the case. That is why even today, when this matter has been testified, I haven't submitted a statement. I haven't submitted I've never been called as a witness. It's almost at the end because I was not involved. I've seen messages that says I took $1 million and I did it, I shifted the firearm order. No. At what point would I have done that? So I just wanted to say to South Africans, I am not involved in the Senzo Meyiwa case. I've never done anything wrong. And there have been many teams, more than 10 different teams that were set to investigate this thing. I have done nothing that can actually cause the matter to be, not to be successful.
Thank you, Chair. I'll just give one because there's a warning already there, a red light before my colleagues takes over. The last one from me. Unfortunately, other issues are still under investigation because you said you are like a specialist, an expert when it comes to investigation. Because I don't want to eat time for my colleague. Can you confirm yes or no on the matter that that scene was not contaminated by your presence?
Not at all. It was never communicated by my presence. When I arrived, it was a done deal already. It was cleared. I mean, when you arrive and already it's trampled upon by many people, I was very late when we come there myself.
So were you the first person who arrived at the scene?
Not at all. I came after 12 there, when in fact this thing had happened after 7:30. So logically speaking, how can I be the first person to arrive past 12 when this thing happened at 7:30?
Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Shongwe.
Ndaba, siyabingelela baba.
Sawubona baba.
Sawubona. Hey, makumele umuntu akhulume nawe ngathi udla intelezi, amehla vele angaboni indaba. Ngiyifunde
Ngiyathandaza.
Izolo before ngichubeka nje bengifuna ukubuza enye clarity seeking question. So bengisaba ukuthi uchair uzodla isikhathi sami ubuya ngishaya uchair yabona. Can you kindly assist me with ubundle le ku page 234 SB 19? Just the first blocks ungifundise ukuyifunda lapha ya mhlawumbe ungifundele. Ngibuza nje ngoba ngifuna ukufunda indlela ukuyifunda akwangishaya ngesikhathi ngisho timekeeper.
Asambe che.
Yeah. It is station heading, ne?
Yebo.
It is CAS, which is case.
Two double murder, yes.
It description there. It is alleged that the ANC member had a meeting at Ghost Town while driving near Green Water Tank. He was shot 2 times on the head and the neck and succumbed injuries on the scene. Bese ETIO, is that the investigating officer?
Yebo, Chair.
Now in Khumalo outstanding, it analyzed section 205 to place. Can I read the name, Chair? Okay. Analyze section 205 and to place Tembelani Dlamini on the crime scene. Bese lapha it try to identify the suspect. Sihle Zigalala. I don't understand the outstanding. Is that outstanding or what? Please clarify this for me.
This is the investigation that needed to be conducted. That is outstanding. And by so saying, Chair, may I be sensitive to the fact that it's very much important. And that is why, Chair, is very dangerous to mention the name, because this Sihle Zigalala does not necessarily mean that it is the current minister or deputy minister. So it's very dangerous to rely on the name that you find here. There are many names that you find that they are equal or they are senior. I mean, they are similar to the name of some of our leaders. And in the meantime, now we begin to target the leader on something that it is not him, it is someone else. So may I request, Chair, that this document be really in the highest sensitivity it deserves, Chair.
All right. Should I continue with it, Chair, or just me?
No, you can continue. The documents have been made available to yourselves and they are on record. But what the witness is requesting is that you may not read the names because they may be misinterpreted.
Now, as I was asking for clarity, Chair, I was saying, does it mean when you say analyze section 205, does it mean the placing of that suspect or there's this name Yokala on this crime scene? And does it also mean try to identify the suspect as that suspect? Does it mean exactly that or it means something else?
When you read the docket, which is the double murder, heading double murder, that was registered in 2016 on the 20th of 12. And it gives you the description of the case that this is what is being alleged, that the ANC member had a meeting at Ghost Town while driving near a green water tank, and he was shot 2 times on the head and neck and succumbed to injuries on the scene. Now, here's the investigating officer. Now, here my main intention was to point out that the last day of investigation of this matter, the last the last handwriting in the docket was on the 24th of March 2023. This is the last time this team looked at this docket. So in other words, for almost since 2023, this docket was never looked at. 2 years. It was not open. It's somewhere sitting gathering dust. Now, the rest, the information that is outstanding in this docket was to analyze the 205s and to place this person on the crime scene. In other words, it's when you apply for the communications from the cell phone providers, the car trackers and everything, and then you analyze that so that you can see that it gives you whether this person was there or not.
No, thank you. So this Sihle Zikalala that is here, was he arrested 2 years ago?
I thought, Chair, we agreed that the names are not
No,
going.
you said it's not the minister, just this one.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
That's why I say I'm not sure whether he's a minister or
We
not.
may pass. Do you agree with the relationship between Jackie Selibe no Glenna Glioti made South Africans ukuthi bangawathemba amaphoyisa? And if you do agree, what do you think, or what should South Africans think, or what should they make of your relationship, if you have, between Brown Mokgotsi, who has relations with Ket Matlala?
Well, what I don't know is whether they are criminals or no. Ket Matlala, I do know now that he's been arrested, but at that time, no one knew whether he was that's why even the police awarded him a tender, because they didn't know apparently that he was involved in crime. Even myself, I didn't know if he was in that a criminal. So since one became aware that the man has been arrested, we cannot now further communicate or associate ourselves with him. But at that time, going backward, we didn't know.
So when I
didn't know him up until he came for the first time to the office.
Okay. Asidlulela. Izolo ubufuna i-document yaka public protector, which you say it's the one that clears your name, correct? Do you agree with that document, that letter?
Yes.
Okay. Which one is it? Because there's a letter written 18 December, and there's a letter written 8 May 2022. Which letter are you referring to?
Can I assist that legal team with my protector report? Okay, isn't it that when I come now, I don't know which questions to expect, and as a result, the documents I have, but I couldn't bring everything here. So some of the documents you may find that I don't have them immediately, but before I leave here, I have them. There should be one here.
I think into ishizolo leyo uyibheka kanjalo le letter wangayiveza moqeda.
Legal team do we have? But safe to say that the public protector mentioned there that was employed by the city of Joburg and everything was procedural and legitimate, and as a result, there was no issue about my appointment.
I think it's ngaxoxa ngayo ngoba uyayazi indlela okhuluma ngayo mphathi wami. Now that letter, before I ask you a question on that letter, in the SAPS, when one is subjected for vetting, and should that person fail vetting, do you continue to employ that person?
Is the discretion of the commander or the head to say these skills we need. However, this person did not make it through the vetting department, through vetting, but also depending on the sensitivity of the post that you hold. For an example, there are many members who don't have security clearance Similar case that then Provincial Commissioner doesn't have. Provincial Commissioner Western Cape doesn't have, but yet they deal with sensitive information.
Because the letter ebhalwe advocate Bosisiwe Mkhwanazi, who was then the former public protector, states that at the stage when he was investigating your case and he wrote the letter you are talking about, that clarifies you. He did not have the evidence ephelele. The city of Johannesburg concealed the evidence. Therefore, she came to those findings without this evidence that came there. One, it is the letter that was written by Ubrink speaking about you not passing a competency assessment report. Did you do a competency assessment and did you pass it or you didn't pass it?
I'm not surprised, Honorable, that it is that letter that come from Advocate Bosisiwe Mkhwanazi, but Advocate Bosisiwe Mkhwanazi was given all the information that she needed when she investigated, because remember her team came, not herself. The whole team was sent to investigate, and she conducted an investigation and she wrote a report. Now, after she was approached again by Mesuli Mlandu, after having been cleared in this report, she wanted to start again, and then we wrote to her and said, but advocate, you cannot review your own report. Then she wrote to the Hawks to investigate. And in the Hawks, I was cleared because the DPP refused to prosecute and said, but there's nothing here. And as a result, there was nothing. But I'm sitting with the report from the public protector that says, and it is important that we find it because it clears me. Now, as to the competency report, assessment, remember that when you get to the competency assessment, it's a document where they say to you, it's an exercise where they say to you, there's no right or wrong answer. This is just to look at your character and whether you are a strong person and which character you are. You don't really even need to spend time on this thing because there's no way you will get this thing right to say you are right or wrong. So I wrote what I wrote and the result came the way they came and say, you can be suitable here and not here. That is what happened.
Why pass and why fail?
Well, I don't. It doesn't say you failed it like it's a it's like whether you passed. What do you call it? Let me say it was not positive.
Why pass and why fail?
Okay, let me say I fail.
Okay. 2016 November, you were appointed as a unit head, right?
Yes.
But 2017 July, your job title changes to a HOD.
Yes.
It was converted according to the document of the public protector to an HOD. Did you convert that yourself as it is alleged that you appointed yourself to an HOD?
There's no way you can appoint yourself in a city. In a city is well regulated. The group head forensic investigation service was established by myself. It did not exist. There was GIRAS, which was an internal audit, but I had to start a group function that will take care of the city's properties. And that thing went through the council. They will say the items that were presented before council and council approved.
Okay.
And Chair, there's no way I could be the head of the DPCI and someone like Mesuli Mlandu want to come and tell me that I cannot be the head of a small group forensics within the city. And this was based on the fact that already there were some differences between myself and Mesuli. I do have correspondence here that he wrote himself to Firstly, he wrote a report regarding suspected clandestine rogue unit. And then he also wrote to the late Jeff Makubu, may his soul rest in peace, where in this one, that was written on the 20th of September 2019, he says, reference is made to my report regarding the above matter, which was received by Mayor's office on 16 September 2019. A meeting with you, Chief Operation Officer, Executive Mayor, and MMC Finance held on 18 September to discuss same. Noting that this meeting confirmed that the officials of GVs traveled to Eastern Cape and purport to be conducting a security vetting with my previous employer, which never materialized. Further noting that the meeting also requested that I should allow that this matter be dealt through internal processes instead of reporting same to the South African police intelligence structures. Request which I acceded to without difficulty. Further note, while such internal processes are being followed, kindly be advised that me and my family must also satisfy ourselves of the nature and extent risk we are exposed to. From the confirmed clandestine and rogue activities of the officials of GVs, this is important in regard is heard that the said officials acted with impunity, disregard the political and administrative authorities of the city, and abuse the resources just to execute an unlawful criminal project of hitting my person, career, and reputation. Further noting that I bear the responsibility to assess such risk of my person, career, and reputation, and such is urgent that I should mitigate and protect myself and my family from the potential adverse consequences of the clandestine, illegal, and rogue activities. Also noting that covert operations are generally life-threatening, your office is requested to cause these officials to write Son's affidavit and detail the following. The person who authorizes their clandestine, illegal, rogue activities, the involvement of logistical planning, including their travel arrangement, as well as any other officials, the place these officials visited, people they met, and the role, the information that they have gathered, and source of such information, and how such information has been used. Further noting the agency to mitigate any immediate risk to me and family in Gauteng and Eastern Cape, kindly request. So this is the letter that he wrote when he heard that we are conducting a vetting on everyone. And it was the whole city. It was unfortunately not him alone. And I do have files, Chair, but this matter really, I felt that, quite honestly speaking, it have been dealt with by the public protector. There were Moody and Robinson investigations conducted and all cleared me. State security investigated, the Hawks cleared me. For this thing, for people to take advantage of the current moment, the current situation, and be throwing this thing again through the back door, that we must re-listen to this thing that were investigated many years ago. To me, I find it really unfortunate, Chair, and I wish I could be protected under such situation, because these matters were investigated, closed. And if they were investigated and closed, why bring them here? Is all I'm asking, because the context within which General Mkhwanazi was making his press conference was in terms of political interference was based on the 121 dockets and the disbandment. Now we find ourselves dating back 5 years ago, former Minister Mthethwa, the late 2011, which I find unfortunate. Now this thing is being reversed again through the back door again. I don't think we should allow that, Chair. But not that I'm here to tell the Chair and the committee members that what to ask or what not to ask. I was just raising a concern that personally I feel that they're throwing it through the back door.
Angithi Babu Sibiya mfokandaba indaba isekuthenini kuthiwa ama politicians and senior officials of certain positions benza izinto engaqondile ukuvikelana. So yingakho le matter ibuyile. So ngicela ngingaphathi kabi lokho. But the same letter we're not here, Utembelegi Onega Public Protector. It's the same public protector that says, the city of Johannesburg, yafihla evidence, with-team yakhe. Ekuthenini kuze afikelele kulesa sinqumo asithathile. So uphinde uyabhala futhi in this one. That's why at Green Art we are at liberty to confirm that information revealed by Mr. Brink above, in particular the competency assessment report of Mr. Sibiya and the non-approval of the municipal council. Can I ask Uguti, when that matter yakho position and the grading of his salary from 1.2 million to 1.8, who was supposed to report that matter to your council?
It was the city manager, and all the processes were followed. It went through council, and council approved. So it was not a private deal somewhere in an office.
So it's not correct what the public protector is saying here, Wuti. However, the report, this was not reported to the municipal council.
No, it was reported to the municipal council.
And who was the mayor at that time? From which party, if I may ask?
I think it's former Mayor Herman Mashaba.
He has never said anything to you about this matter of you being put to, of the grading of your salary from 1.2 to 1.8. Are you also saying he's the one who appointed you or the municipal manager at that time?
This is the municipality that appointed me. The same applies to the same Mesuli Mlandu himself, the same process that was followed to have man promoted or increased. His own salary was increased drastically from where it was to where it is now. So it's the same process.
Are you aware that the public protector in his resolution said they must open a case against this issue?
Which she did.
And what happened to the case?
They investigated and the DPP declined to prosecute.
All right. No, thank you. General Mkhwanazi said you procured prohibited equipment in the city of Johannesburg with the assistance of Paul O'Sullivan. And we have seen a letter from the state security agency confirming paragraph 4 that you bought equipment. Can you confirm that?
General Mkhwanazi ukhuluma into angazazi nje. There's nothing like that. That's what General Mkhwanazi is talking about is in his own head, in his own mind.
Le equipment ekhulunywa ngayo la kazi wayithenga wena for baba.
I did explain, Chair, that if you are the head of department of a city, world-class city, and you say we need to create an office that will carry the office, that where we need to build a war room that is strong, and then you let the IT people sit together in a room in consultation with SSA and say we want to build capacity that will be able to carry the city, so that when we are sitting here, we know that we are able to trace as to how many buildings are hijacked. In the city of Joburg, you do find a situation where you find that they buy tires, but they buy tires every day. There's a car that keeps on replacing tires. Almost in a month, they will replace tires twice in a month, which means they steal tires. There's a car that continue keeping on pouring petrol 2 times, 3 times in a day, which means they steal petrol. Now, you need a system that is able to actually gather such type of information and be able to give you a picture. You need a system that will tell you that how many syndicates are operating within revenue services. There are people who are milling around revenue services when people are coming to pay electricity at the revenue services. You have people who says, let me help you jump the queue. And they will go take the money and go as if they are going to pay for you, and then the system will be updated, but people will share money. Now, you need to create systems in such a way that from the war room, you are able to know where is the city losing more money of all these departments. You need to have a system where You know that we have a database of all the cases that are reported, and to be able to track them and to be able to do the linkages and to be able to see whether are there officials that are working with outside people or not. So to have an information management center is the only way to be able to run the affairs of the city. This is technology. Today we are living in the fourth and fifth industrial revolution. You cannot depend on paperwork that is not able to assist you. So having bought that, I was not the one even who said in the meeting or no who designed those whatever equipment that was said, because I didn't know them. The team that we employed mostly teams that come from state security, crime intelligence, police. Now these are the people who sat and say, we think we need a camera, this camera that we're going to use when we shoot the videos or the TVs for hijacked properties or during the operations. So it is things like those. There was no grabber because the main bone of contention was apparently I bought a grabber. Now, the state security said there's no grabber, and there is no grabber. And at the same time, if you remember Al Jamaa, they also they made such a statement that says, when you walk past me, I undress you. Because as you walk past me, my system that I have undresses you, takes all the information from your phone. I went to court, and the court ruled in my favor. It's just that they keep on recirculating the same lies. This is what we are sitting with even today. There's no grabber that I ever procured. He even go to an extent of saying, when I was the head of the Hawks, I procured something like a grabber. Being the head of the Hawks, there was General Dramat, and where was he at that time? No. There's no grabber that I procured. I don't have such a grabber. Some of these statements are just malicious.
Impendulo yakho baba Sibiya iyangidida kancane because ifana nale yayizolo yaka Kt Matlala ukuthi uyamazi uKt Matlala bese ubuye uthi umazi 5 times ngama phone calls ayi5 uphinde khona la uphendule khona nabebuza ukuthi elisikisiki wayekhona na. Your answer said wayengekho. So if you say that, that means uyamazi umuntu sheshe umbone. Like if somebody can ask me ukuthi ukhona baba Mkhwanazi, I will tell you akekho because sengiyamazi. So umbuzo wami ngicela uphendule nje mhlawumbe ngendlela ethe ukungisiza ukuthi le equipment othi Mkhwanazi ukhuluma into engayazi ikhona yini yathenga?
No, ayikho, akazithengwa futhi.
So akuna Polo Sullivan owakusiza ukuthenga equipment?
No.
I-relationship yakho no Polo Sullivan injani?
Polo Sullivan, I know him very well. I've been operating in Gauteng for many years, and then he's one of the active role players in terms of crime fighting. He reports crime, people report to him, he reports to the police, and look, Polo Sullivan contacts everybody. Even if you are the National Commissioner, you will get an email from Polo Sullivan. He's not my friend. I've never been to his house. He's never been to my house. I've never gone to a restaurant with Polo Sullivan where we sat and we drank tea or coffee. What Polo Sullivan is all about is that he's a
fact. I want to know where does she get the protocol yakamtsipa ngimazi irank yakhe ngikalunga irank yakhe. Protocol ithini ngomtsipe if ukuthi National Commissioner gives the instruction bese angayithathi? Is that correct?
May I leave that for her to come and respond to the chair?
But ngizwe kuwe mina.
Yes,
kumele kwaleyo ishiye kuya azoyixoxa.
Sengiphendula ngaleyo ndlela.
Uyayishintsha.
Angishintshi, ngithi let her come and explain that part.
All right. No, ngiyabonga kakhulu lapho. Ngicela sibonisane lapho. Because nginenkinga yokuthi masophendulana kanjalo sizosalela emuva mntakababa. We SAPS sinayo lento ekuthiwa intelligence. And where is it sitting?
Intelligence is sitting in many offices.
Is it under the office of the president still?
No, there's different type of intelligence. there's crime intelligence of the police, there is senior state security that is taking care of both international and local.
And which one when le ochayi kora isebenzi?
One that I say is weak is the one of South African Police Service.
Lastly, what is your take, or would you agree with General Mkhwanazi when he says PKTT deserves to be awarded for their good job they did? Do you think the PKTT did a good job? And would you agree on them getting awarded for what they did? As I close, do you also have any relationship with any member of the ad hoc committee? Thank you.
The PKTT members, personally, firstly, I don't know if they haven't been rewarded because there have been many excellence awards, whether they have been rewarded at any stage. They must have been. And they are part of the team that I believe that in many instances, they have done a good job. They must be rewarded if ever they haven't been rewarded. It's something that I cannot say they didn't do a good job. Not necessarily mean that throughout the country, they did a good job. But the problem is, if you did a good job in Gauteng, well, let's say in KZN alone, you can award them in KZN. In KZN, yes, you can award them. But whether they did a good job in the whole country, they were not there everywhere. When you look at Lusikisiki, it's Lusikisiki 18. They were rewarded because of only Lusikisiki. But even if they did a good job when it comes to whatever matter they dealt with, and the commander feels that they need to be rewarded, submit paperwork and they will be rewarded.
Shay didn't finish the question.
Do you want to make a follow-up, honorable member?
Still the very same question, which does know any member of the ad hoc committee. And I think I was not answered in the question of Brown and Lusikisiki, which, as you said, you don't know him. Yes, yes.
Brown Mkhwanazi, I said it, I think, Chair, even yesterday, that I know Brown from the time he contacted me. I didn't know him. The very first time I got to meet Brown is when on January 8, he called and said, I'm going to General 8, are you going to be there? I said, yes, I'm here on operations. We are working here in Western Cape. He said, I'll come and greet you. That's exactly what happened. And even if you check the footage, you will see. And before that, you can see my phone, you won't find Brown. And then thereafter, I allowed those calls. There were moments where I could have blocked him and stopped communicating him, but when it comes to issues of safety and a person who gives you a lot of information, you let it flow. Any member of the ad hoc that I know, I've worked for a very long time with Honorable James. I know her. I've worked for a long time with Honorable Glenis. I've worked with some members I saw in the portfolios where we account. I know the chairperson for portfolio committee from the portfolio committee, not anywhere else. So these are the only members, Honorable Kola Danabayanat, I know, not personally per se, just official capacities.
I don't mind.
I can only give you the last question.
Because abantu balambile, Chair. But Chair, let me finish here. Thanks.
So,
I think we share Sapala. Let me ask you this one. I'm tempted to. General Mkhwanazi says there is buying of Lamborghinis and all that to by intelligence somehow. And you said there's no such. So I want to ask Uguti, in the SAPS in totality, akwenzeki ukuthi uthole ukuthi umuntu uyi-spy uthunywe yini to infiltrate a certain criminal syndicate? Is no such. Is there no such?
A Lamborghini is pushing it too hard. You can't buy something of 5 million because you want to infiltrate somebody. You can always do it cheaper. But you will never go buy a Lamborghini because you want to infiltrate someone.
Yes, so, but there is such a doing. It matters in terms of the budget. So it can be done.
Even if let's say you want to run a covert operation, we have well-trained undercover operators that can infiltrate that space. And let's say, for instance, they are dealing with a syndicate, a group of syndicate, a big one, and where you have to appear as a rich person who is actually living that lifestyle. They will make sure that you get that car, not necessarily that it is procured, but they'll organize that car and then you will use that car for that time being for you to be able to operate. But what I wanted to say, Chair, I don't want to sit here and expose how the police operate in some of the operations because you are leading me into, Chair, you are leading me into a situation where I'm going to be accused tomorrow and say, he did the following.
No, ngiyabonga mfowanda bengiphendulile bengicabanga nje ukuthi ungazi ukuthi ikhona lento ayishilo noma yikho so uthe ikhona just depends on the matter of value that you will tell us. Siyabonga mfowanda.
But General, are you saying that in a corrupt environment, officials may not use state money to buy themselves the vehicles that he talks about? In an environment where corruption is pervasive, is there no possibility that the money can be siphoned to acquire such or vehicles of that value?
No, Chair. You can't, unless, I mean, we're working with the public's money, public's fund here. You can't really nilly-willy just spend millions because you want to investigate a certain crime. You can investigate crime.
Not for purpose of investigation, yeah. for self-aggrandizement.
And I buy a Lamborghini.
Yes, you have access to this purse. There is no monitoring. You have become a law unto yourself. It's not only the vehicles, Honorable Shongwe. He also spoke about people who have acquired farms.
And buildings.
Yeah,
that's correct.
So you may have a building that is higher than that vehicle in value.
Yes, Chair.
And the state money has been used.
Yes, Chair.
So that is why I'm asking you, because this is part of our probe, the extent of, okay, I must not say that, the extent of, how corrupt activities have been entrenched. Because he says police officials do this and that, and you say, no, we can't. In terms of our operations, if they are covered, we can't buy vehicles of that value. And I'm asking you, in an environment where corrupt activities have become pervasive, is it possible that state money can be used for personal use, where a person can take it and go and buy himself or herself a vehicle of the value that I don't want to advertise that vehicle,
it shouldn't be, Chair, and it shouldn't be allowed. Because to start with, there's a way of procuring such a car in such a way that it cannot be traced back to you. And therefore, it is not even known in the system. And what you do with that car at the ultimate end may not be known by anybody.
But that other properties have been acquired. Have you heard about that, or do you know about that?
I saw it in the papers. I heard about it, but I don't know the detailed facts of it, quite honestly speaking. I just see it from a distance, even myself.
And as part of the senior leadership of the police service, when you saw that reports, did it shake you, or you just said, I know, this is what we are used to?
Things were reported, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm very happy when things get reported to the platform or forum where they belong. And they were reported to the IG, and the IG conducted the investigation and dived deeper in investigation, consulting with the IDEC or NPA, and they came around a decision whether to prosecute or not. But none of us were involved in the process.
Let's leave it that. Thank you so much, General, and I want to thank you, honorable members. Honorable Adams, we have made it a practice that when we have an honorable member in our proceedings, we introduce them for the public to know that members of parliament also take interest in the work that we are doing. So I take this opportunity to formally introduce you, that you have joined our proceedings today.
Thank you, Chair. I thought I was in trouble again. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Honorable members, it's that time when we should break. We are coming back at 10 minutes after 14 hours. The Honorable Nomvalo, we have alerted you about his health issues. So when we come back, I'm going to request honorable members to allow him to get through with his questions. And then we will then move to the Democratic Alliance. Yes, let's accept it. It's only for today, Honorable Breitenbach. I have given you the break, honorable members.
response that just mingles with anyone without checking the credibility of such people.
I don't think it's fair, General Chair, that every person that I meet, I must investigate. You do meet people, and you won't have capacity to really conduct a background check on anybody that you meet.
So it means I must be worried, General, that you can come to my village and mingle with criminals and later come and say you did not know their character. So that is the kind of a police officer, the national deputy commissioner we have in South Africa, who just mingles with people and later come and say, no, I did not know their character.
I think, Chair, I've met 98% that is good. But if it happens that you met one or two characters that are actually questionable, cannot take the whole credibility away from me because I spoke to somebody. It happens with all of the police officials, senior managers, ministers, even presidents. It's that you find yourself having spoken to somebody, later that person found himself in trouble. But that shouldn't be brought to your doorstep.
No, but the fact of the matter is that you are a police officer and not just an ordinary police officer. You are a general. You are the National Deputy Commissioner. For you to have a relationship with people who have questionable characters can never be justified.
It is not correct to say I have a relationship with them as if they were my friends. They were not my friends to an extent that it can be called a relationship with criminals. It's not correct.
But General, when we asked you about the relationship with Brown Mokgotsi, I think the question was asked by Honorable Nhlanhla. You said he was asking if you are still speaking, if you are speaking with Brown Mokgotsi. You said you are speaking with him. And he further asked if you are speaking on police issues. You said, no, we are speaking on general issues. What do you mean by general?
If you remember very well, Chair, I said that my relationship or how I got to speak to Brown, he gave me information, valuable information that according to me was valuable to me.
No, but you are contradicting yourself. Remember, you said the information that he gave to you was already in your possession.
Yes.
So how can something that you know be valuable when it comes for the second time? I know that I'm Sibonelo Nomvalo. If you come and tell me that something that I know, it can't be valuable.
Chair, no matter how much you stretch it, the bottom line is, I say I met Brown and he gave me information that I needed, although it was confirming something that I knew, and I see nothing wrong in that regard.
But how can something that you already knew be valuable?
Up until I meet him, I would then here take it from there.
Let's go to Ket Nhlanhla. Is it true that Ket Nhlanhla paid an amount of 2 million towards the purchase of your plot in Centurion in Pretoria?
I don't know, because my plot is procured, is bought through the bank, and there's no 2 million that was paid.
So it's not true?
It's not true.
You said Ket came to your office to discuss about the tender. Did I hear you correctly?
No, you didn't hear me correctly.
Where did you meet up?
I said he came to the office to discuss the issue of the fact that he's been awarded a tender and then he's got a lease agreement to do to occupy the facility, and then he was not being allowed to occupy the facility. This is the meeting that was intended for the National Commissioner, but the National Commissioner was not there. I was the one acting.
Yeah, but that is what I was saying as well. Now, did you see it appropriate to meet a service provider?
I meet everybody. Even if he's a service provider, he is a stakeholder, but at that time, in his capacity, he was more of a complainant.
Who signed his appointment letter? A letter that was appointing him to work for the department.
I don't know whether it's the National Commissioner or supply chain, but I was not part thereof.
Now, why did he not refer that concern to them?
He came
because they are the ones, a general. I see a general who's all over the place here, meeting business people. They are the ones who appointed him to work for the department, not you. They are the ones who signed the appointment letter. How does it get to you to speak about a tender?
I don't think it's correct to say to speak about the tender.
Let me just do like this. Honorable Nombalo, let's go easy on the general. When I say easy, I don't mean you must not be robust. You can be robust in any way. But I plead that we give the general a breathing space.
No problem, Chair.
Thank you.
Point taken. You can respond, General.
Repeat the question, please.
I was asking, how does a service provider, how do they get access to you in the first place? To come and discuss about technicalities that they are faced with after they have been appointed.
I think
does it feel in your competence to attend to such issues?
It doesn't fit within my competency as the head of crime detection, but when you are the National Commissioner's post, you deal with everything in the police, and I was acting as the National Commissioner.
You know Bonana Ngwenya, who is the former Ngwenya.
Hey, we have one. You nearly collapsed, dude.
No, we can turn him into a witness. Do you know Mr. Ngwenya, who's the former Deputy National Commissioner?
I know her.
What is your relationship with her?
The mother of my child.
Where does she work currently?
I'm not sure.
Did she ever work for a company of Vusmuzu Ket Matlala?
Not at all.
She has never worked for it?
Not at all.
Okay. Let's go to the disbandment of the PKTT. You know where my concern is?
Just hold it, the honorable number. General, you say the person is in question is the mother of your child, and you don't know where she works.
Yes.
Okay.
She's the one who was actually at some point who lost her job. So I don't know where she's working.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't live with me.
Okay. But you okay, no, it's fine. Let me leave it there.
Can I proceed, Chair?
Yes, you can proceed.
Now, you know where my major problem is, General, with regards to your involvement in the disbandment of the political killings task team, is that you were never involved in its operations.
Correct.
Neither did it send any report to you.
Correct.
You have already said that the PKTT was doing a sterling job. During its operation before the disbandment.
I said they were doing a good job, but it could be better than what they're doing.
So they were doing a good job.
But it could be better than what they're doing.
You further said that The reason why they were disbanded is because the budget was not enough. You even cited remarks that were made by the treasurer, by the CFO, I mean, correct?
No, I don't remember saying they were disbanded because the budget was not.
No, I'm saying part of the reasons why they were disbanded.
Yes.
It's because there was no money that could sustain them.
Yes.
But that is not in accordance with the letter of the minister.
Well, I cannot question that part. That is not what the minister said. I didn't dictate nor contribute to what the minister wrote.
No, but General Sibiya, the minister wrote a letter disbanding the task team. You came before this committee and justified his actions. You even quoted what was said by the CFO. You were not just talking for the sake of talking. When you said there was no money to sustain the task team, you were actually supporting the reasons for its disbandment.
Even now, I'm still supporting that, Chair.
Yes, but I'm saying that is not in accordance with what the minister said. The minister never said there was no money in his letter.
I understand that.
The minister, the only reason the minister why he disbanded the team on Annex Chassis B2, paragraph 53, the minister says, open quote, my observation in this regard, as indicated above, is that further existence of this team is no longer required, nor is it adding any value to policing in South Africa.
Yes.
Now, should we agree that your perspective is not similar to that of the minister?
I wouldn't say it's not similar. They go hand in hand.
No, remember, General Sibiya, I asked you if the task team was doing a sterling job. You said yes. The view of the minister, when something is of no value, it means that thing is useless. The view of the minister at this stage is that the task team is useless. You further said, no, I'll give you a chance to respond. You further said the CFO indicated financial concerns. So there was no money to sustain the team. So your reasons are not the same.
Remember, I have given more reasons. The minister may not have written all the reasons, or may actually summarize all the reasons in one sentence. But in my case, let me read you this letter from the National Commissioner statement.
No, before we go to let's finish the minister and your version first. I will allow you to read the commissioner statement. The point here that I'm making, General, is that because there is nowhere where we can find the views of the minister in this regard, except in the letter. And we can't quote things we do not know because the minister will come here and say, but I never said that. What I said is here in the letter. Your reasons are not similar to that of the minister. Why is it so difficult to accept that?
Remember, we don't have different reasons to disband. The minister gave a directive which has been complied upon by all. What I motivated myself comes from me, not from
exactly my point.
Yes, and yes. The two are not in competition.
No, they are not, absolutely.
Yes.
But they are not different. Your motivation and his reason.
Yes.
Exactly. Why is it difficult to accept that? Now, your participation in the disbandment starts after the 31st of December, when the National Commissioner was on leave. You keep on citing the name, the National Commissioner, not the name, to say he is the one who gave instructions to do the implementation plan and so on and so forth. But the minister the commissioner that we're talking about here, who refuses that he accepted this decision, General Masemola, there is absolutely nothing that points to a direction of his acceptance of this decision.
To the contrary, the National Commissioner saying in his statement and a sworn statement at the Madlanga Commission, he says, since the letter required a report to be prepared by the 20th of January 2025, and given that I would be on leave until the 14th of January 2025, I instructed Brigadier Letogo of my office to forward the letter from the minister to all Deputy National Commissioners, including Lieutenant General Sibiya, Deputy National Commissioner Crime Detection, to instruct them to prepare the necessary report. My intention was to discuss the matter with the minister to understand his reasons and attempt to dissuade him. However, the letter contained an instruction to prepare a report that were due by 20 January 2025. If I had refused to carry out this instruction, I would have been accused of insubordination, since all that was required, at least insofar as the instruction was concerned, was a report. So now this says, or this tells us that the National Commissioner agreed and he complied with, because had he not done that, he would have been he was going to be accused of insubordination. So the minister, the National Commissioner, for all intents and purposes, he agreed.
No, but you were drawing an inference that he agreed because you started to make a reference to a January letter, email rather, that was sent from his office by the Chief of Staff. At that time, the commissioner was on leave, right?
Yes.
There was an acting commissioner.
Correct.
So by the time the national commissioner came, processes of disbanding, leave the implementation apart because that is another phase. Disbanding is a phase on its own. You can't use what happened on phase 2 to clarify what happened on phase 1. Are you aware of a process that unfolded during the disbandment of the PKK before we go to January?
Yes, I'm aware.
How was it disbanded?
The process that was followed that I know of is the letter that was received from the minister on the 31st of December that was sent to the office of the National Commissioner, and the National Commissioner further forwarding that same letter to my office with a directive that I must communicate same to the team. And the team also started reacting or acting on that, leading to a presentation that was presented before Parliament. And before Parliament, this is where they explained that the test team has achieved the purpose for which it was intended for. All the districts in KZN have stabilized except the Etiquette district. And as a result, we are now going to be phasing out. And in phasing out, we'll start 3 phases. The first phase being to deliver the dockets by the 17th of March. And that happened. And as a result, by the 28th of June, of March, a handing over was done between the 2 divisional commissioners. General Khumalo is the one who went and fetched the docket, handed them over to General Sintumule, as per the arrangement. And then from there, from General Sintumule handed them to General Motsepe. They conducted an inspection, and General Motsepe, they attempted to return the cases to General the Provincial Commissioner, General Mkhwanazi, who rejected the docket. The docket found themselves back at head office. But that's the process of disbandment.
Chair, I don't want to be accused of not allowing the witness to respond, but the witness has not done justice to my question, and I hope you were paying attention. The question that I asked from the witness is, what is a process that was followed before the letter was issued on the 31st of December? Now it tells me about what happened after the 31st of December. I'm talking about processes that unfolded before the minister took a decision to disband the team.
Yeah, I give you free airtime for General Sibiya to respond to the question.
The process before that, there was a letter that was received from the members of the community who complained to Professor Mary Dihas of the University of KZN. Professor Mary Dihas forwarded the complaints of members of the public to Parliament and to the minister. And the minister also discussed the process in a management meeting where they consulted with the management in general. It is in this meeting where General Masemola actually intimated that the task team, this was just a task team, it was not meant to be a permanent unit, to an extent that it was meant to evolve into a unit. As a result, it is not in the structure of the police, and yes, it can be done. So the National Commissioner was consulted and all other senior managers, and he never actually showed he never showed to be against the dismantlement. And as a result, the process started.
Okay, so General, we are saying here on record under oath that before the decision was taken, because the National Commissioner said the decision was taken while he was on leave in December, and he came back in January. So you are saying here under oath, the minister, the National Commissioner was consulted prior to the disbandment of the team. Is that what you are saying?
I'm saying that, Chair, is what I'm repeating here on record under oath, that there was a meeting that was held on the 27th of November, where consultations were made with all stakeholders or all relevant in the presence of the National Commissioner, and the National Commissioner did say that this is just a task team, it was not a permanent structure, and it was meant to evolve into a unit, and it can be done. And starting from then, that's how everything unfolded.
Was Khumalo, who was a project manager?
Before you got the honorable member, because the general mentions the name of Miss Dihas as part of the response. What do you say about Miss Dihas?
Professor Mary Dihas wrote a letter to Parliament. I want to get to the correspondence, Chair, and it's very much important that you don't leave it out because it is what happened. Professor Mary Dihas wrote a letter to cabinet. Do we know which 93? 93. Now, Chair, I've got a trailing email between the offices of Ms. Mtembu of SAPS, sent to Major General Sebola, and then leading to, now when you go to page 96, page 96 of the bundle. Chair, will you allow me to read the statement from the members of the complaints that were sent to Professor Mary Dihas? And then Professor Mary Dihas document.
Can I come in as a person who asked the question?
Yeah.
I'm really not interested in the substance. I just wanted to know if the complaint is there.
Okay.
I'm satisfied if the complaint is there. I can move on.
Thank you. You can then go to the question on General Khumalo.
Now, the question is, Do you see it appropriate to disband a structure without asking for a report from the project manager? General?
No, I'm not stuck. I'm just saying, the question is, do you see it appropriate without requesting for a report from the...
No, I can repeat for you, General.
No, I hear what you say. The answer is very simple. The instruction as it came from the National Commissioner, it said, prepare a close-up report, communicate the same to the team, and prepare a close-up report.
No, General, that's why I wanted to repeat for you, because we are not answering my question. Prepare for a close-out report is in a letter that disbands the task team. I am talking about a process that was supposed to unfold before the disbandment was effected. Do you see it appropriate to disband a structure without getting a report before you disband from a person who was tasked to be a project manager?
Chair, please protect me here, because I'm gonna answer the same question. The instruction from the National Commissioner says, DNC, as directed, you are requested to communicate the same to the team and to prepare a close-up report by the 14th of January, and for the minister to get this on the 20th. Now, the close-up report is exactly what the honorable member is talking about, because the close-up report, the only people who can prepare a close-up report is General Khumalo. Even when you go to the meeting on the 6th of March, where General Khumalo presented before the minister, and when you look at the very last sentence, paragraph in the action plan that is actually produced by him, it says prepare the close-up report by the 31st of March. General Khumalo, who is the project manager?
Chair?
Yeah.
Can I clarify my question? Maybe you will assist me with interpreting it.
You don't have to clarify, General Sibiya.
Yes.
If a member asks you one question 3 or 4 times, you have the same answer. You just give the same answer. Yeah.
Okay.
No, Chair, I think you are making a mistake now, because you are prescribing how he should answer.
No,
and
I'm responding to the point that you are saying he needs protection.
I am the one who needs protection here, Chair, because my question has not been responded to. That is why I'm saying, Chair, it means we are not following my questioning. The question before the general is, was the project manager consulted before the decision was taken to disband the structure? Now he says, in a letter, and the letter that he talks about is a letter that disbands the structure. He says in that letter, and I agree, I've read the letter, and what he's talking about is the last paragraph of that letter, after the decision to disband has been communicated on the above paragraph. Now he says in that letter, the minister says, prepare a closeout report. The questioning I'm asking, Chair, is a question that relates to a consultative process prior to making a decision, prior to arriving to a conclusion that indeed there is a need to disband the structure.
I agree with you. After you asked him a question, he appealed to me to protect him.
But I also appeal to you to protect me, Chair.
Okay, let me protect both of you. Both of you are protected. I'm leveling the playing fields. Can you please restate the question and we hear what his response is?
Should I rephrase?
Restate it.
Okay. My question generally is, before the decision was taken on the 31st of December, in a letter that was signed by the minister. In that letter, the minister disbands. In the same letter, he says, prepare a closeout report. So that is after the disbandment. Prepare a closeout report after the disbandment. Now the question is, prior to the disbandment, was a project manager consulted in order for the minister to arrive to a determination that there was a need to disband the task team?
That is a response that can be provided by the minister and the National Commissioner.
At least that response is better than the first one, Chair. Was General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi disbanded? Informed?
I don't know.
The provincial commissioner?
I don't know.
Should we not be worried here, General, that you become so active in executing a wrong decision? Because you came after the decision was taken, and the manner in which the decision was taken was wrong because due processes were not followed. Should we not be worried?
I don't think so. The same way the National Commissioner mentioned in his statement here that had he not carried out the instruction, was going to be disciplined for insubordination. Now, in this case, if it is the Office of the National Commissioner that invites me into the process, there's no way I could not participate after being ordered by the Office of the National Commissioner to participate. I didn't jump in on my own. I was invited in and directed by the Office of the National Commissioner.
May you please be specific that at that time when that instruction was given, the National Commissioner was on leave. So in office, there was an acting National Commissioner.
Chair, I don't know if I'm allowed to respond like this. That doesn't change anything. If the National Commissioner is on leave, as the National Commissioner of the South African Police Service, he remains responsible and accountable. And if there's an acting National Commissioner, he's got the powers to carry out the mandate of the National Commissioner. But the bottom line is, there's a letter that comes from or out of the Office of the National Commissioner directing the Deputy National Commissioner to act. Now, that on its own, it's a complete instruction.
So according to your logic, General, it's permissible for a person to give instructions while he's on leave, while there's someone acting.
It happens
in their office.
It happens.
Then why people are acting if a person can do the work while they're at home?
It happens. If you are the National Commissioner and you think of something that you want happened, you will give an instruction and it will be complied with. Nobody will say, no, but you are on leave, you can't tell us anything.
So are you not worried, General, that there is nothing written or signed rather by the National Commissioner? Because the gist of the bone of contention here centers around a question of acceptance and a question of whether the minister consulted before he took the decision. And the position of the National Commissioner is that he did not accept the decision. That is why I'm saying, when you say the National Commissioner, be specific that at that time the National Commissioner was not in office. So if you received a letter, you did not receive it from Masemola, the current National Commissioner. You received it from a person who was acting at that time. Now, are you not worried that even after the minister came back to work, you gave him a plan and he did not sign it?
Can I return back to the page that I just read, Chair, where the National Commissioner says, I instructed Brigadier Letoko of my office to forward the letter from the minister to all deputy national commissioners. This comes now from the national commissioner. So the fact that he's on leave falls away.
Which letter is that? May you please refer me to a letter? Which annex?
Now it's Madlanga Commission statement on Masemola, page 34.
I don't have a Madlanga document.
Maybe the evidence leader can assist. But the national commissioner does accede. He says, I instructed Brigadier Letoko of my office to forward the letters from the minister to all deputy national commissioners, including Lt Gen Sibiya crime detection, to instruct them to prepare the necessary reports. My intention was to discuss the matter with the minister to understand his reasons and attempt to dissuade him. However, the letter contained an instruction to prepare a report that were due by 20th January. If I had refused to carry out instructions, I would have been accused of insubordination. So, in other words, the national commissioner agreed because he says if he had refused, he was going to be accused of insubordination.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not in possession of that letter. I have an interest of putting my version or my perspective of how I understand it. Unfortunately, I did not make any preparation for such because it is not part of our bundles, Chairperson. Now, do you agree with General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi when he says the disbandment was a missed target?
No.
Can I give you context?
Yes.
He says, in his understanding, the dockets were taken from KZN for the purposes of influencing them for matters of Gauteng. When they arrived in Gauteng, the people who wanted to influence them realized that these are dockets that are only related to matters of KZN, to political killings. So he says the intention to return them back to KZN was as a consequence of the fact that people who took them lost interest out of making a realization that they are not related to Gauteng matters. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't agree. And I must add that the people of South Africa must begin to realize that this is someone playing with people's mind. He's playing the people of South Africa. This has got nothing to do with the people of Gauteng or KZN. Political killing testing from the onset, it is clear it is KZN related. Now, when the matter has been disbanded, it was disbanded and the process started long before than the 6th of March or when they came to Gauteng. Now, as much as he is trying very hard to bring this political killing testing and throw it into the spanner and saying that we have been disbanded because of this is far-fetched. It's not true, and there's nothing like it is a missed target. He's just trying to bring this thing to look for a motive that he can connect to the criminal underworld. But when you look at all of these case dockets, none of them involve Big Five, Katiso Molefe, Ket Matala, Brown Mohosi, or whoever at all. So all I'm saying, Chair, with respect, is that it is not a missed target, and it shouldn't be accepted that everything that Gen Mkhwanazi says is true. And these are the statements that are to be put before us as if we must accept that it is true, it is not true.
Are you the one who gave an order for dockets to be removed from KZN to Pretoria?
I gave an instruction that the dockets, the two divisional commissioners must exchange the dockets, and then the divisional commissioner of crime intelligence must hand over the dockets to the one of of detectives, and the one of detectives must take them to their stations, murder and robbery unit where they belong, same time, without taking them to head office.
But where did you get the mandate to do that?
From the national commissioner's instruction that says communicate, carry on.
Is there any part in his instruction that says take dockets from KZN to where the dockets were taken?
Yes.
May we read it?
Let's go to the meeting of the 6th January. starting from the one in Parliament.
Which annexure?
Let's start, in fact, in Parliament on the 20th, on the 5th of March, where General Khumalo said these dockets, the ministers have given a directive that the political task team be disbanded. And then there's been several meetings since then or subsequently. And then as a result, the dockets will be taken from PKTT to murder and robbery units. This is General Khumalo saying that. And then the following day, in a meeting with the minister, they produce an action plan.
General, the question is, where did you get that mandate? Is General not your junior, General Khumalo?
He is.
So you got a mandate from your junior?
No. It doesn't mean, I don't know, Chair. What I'm saying is simple and straightforward. It's simple and straightforward, and it doesn't confuse. It's straight. There is an instruction, a directive to disband. The National Commissioner says, act on it. They go to Parliament, they say, no, we agree, and we are doing it. And the next thing, they come up with an action plan themselves that disband, and they disband. They say, we will bring the docket on the 17th of March, even though they are handing over on the 28th of March, which happened not under my directive, under the directive of the National Commissioner. Remember, the National Commissioner said, I approved this plan, number one. Number two, the National Commissioner said in one of his statements that I told Sibiya to stop, I will do it myself, and then directed General Khumalo to do it. And he said from then onward, he told them to leave me alone and ignore my communication. And then from there, since then, his communication took precedence. So henceforth, whatever that was happening is the precedence that come as a result of the National Commissioner's instruction. In other words, everything that was happening, flowing therefrom, it was the National Commissioner's instruction. That is why they could come up with their plan that says, on this day, this is what will be happening, and this is what happened.
Yeah, but you were pointing me to a letter with an instruction to take dockets. We were still perusing.
Firstly, let's still start again on the document that I read that says, Minister Mkhwanazi,
which document, General?
This one is the minutes of the meeting on the 27th of 4th, meeting with the minister and the executive
annexure.
Evidence leader. I'm told, can I give this man? Whilst he's coming, the minister expressed his concern regarding the political killing task team. He suggested that instead of establishing separate units to focus on different types of matters, the organization should consider establishing a single integrated unit under the umbrella of murder and robbery unit. This unit will operate nationally, ensuring a more streamlined and coordinated approach to address such crimes across the country. And General Masemola responds by saying he clarified to the minister that the political killing task team is not a formal unit, but rather a task team. He explained that the primary objective of this task team was to evolve into a dedicated murder and robbery unit. As such, it does not appear on the organizational structure, given that it is temporary structure designated for a specific purpose and not a permanent operational unit. Now, we then followed by a work study officer that was approved by the National Commissioner, establishing the specialized unit such as the murder and robbery unit. Now, establishing the murder and robbery unit. So now, the murder and robbery units were established to also take care of cases like political killing task team, which was signed now on the 5th of June. And the National Commissioner's comment says, the National Commissioner says it must be expedited by the Deputy National Commissioner Crime Detection. So all I'm saying is that there's no resistance whatsoever in implementing the specialized unit that must investigate the political killing task team.
Yeah, no, General, I've just read the letter and there's nothing that says General Sibiya take dockets or give an instruction for dockets to be removed from point A to point B. That is what I was looking for.
All right. I want a document, the action plan of the meeting of the 6th of March with the minister, because it says themselves there that the dockets will
be meeting between who and who?
The minister, National Commissioner, General Musigiri, myself, and the Chief of Staff. Now, when you go to page 72 to 79, 79.
2 to 79. 72.
Page 79.
79.
The National Commissioner here says, based on this plan, they then handed dockets to Situmule. Looking at this action plan that, according to the National Commissioner, she and General Musigiri agreed and supported the plan, and I was opposed to the plan together with the minister and the Chief of Staff. But this plan was produced and approved by the National Commissioner. It says, approval of disbandment plan by the Minister of Police is 2025-0306. Stakeholder engagement, and on the 6th of March, the minister actually partly approved the plan, but was just more concerned about the fact that you have now dockets, court-going dockets that are going to take too long. Now, it says stakeholder engagement with NPA, including prioritization of the 114 cases, is the National Commissioner on the 17th of March. Approval of the new call-up instruction and financial authority on 2025-2026, which is the National Commissioner on the 17th of March. Retaining the case dockets under investigation to KZN and Eastern Cape Project Manager, Divisional Commissioner, Detective and Forensic Service on the 17th of March. Provide progress to the Minister, National Commissioner, Deputy National Commissioner, Crime Detection. It will be Project Manager, Divisional Commissioner and Forensic Service on the 31st of March. But to submit a final report, close-up report to the Minister, to be the Project Manager on the 31st of March.
I'm willing to, even though I'm not satisfied with the response that we have given so far, but I think we can move on to another question. But before we move on, even if we don't read the entire letter, just go to a paragraph that says, if there is, that gives you an instruction to take dockets from KZN to Pretoria. I just need that only.
Yeah.
I don't need a context for you to conceptualize and give interpretations of what you understood out of what was written by the commissioner. If there is, unless you are saying we won't find that paragraph, that I can accept. Is there any paragraph that says General Sibiya give an order or give an instruction for dockets to be taken from KZN to Pretoria?
There's no such letter.
There's no such letter.
Even from my side, there's no such letter.
No, I think I'm satisfied. We can move, no, I'm satisfied. We can move to other questions. Now, the PKTT chair, Are you talking? Okay. Now, the PKTT in question, was this the only PKTT that we had across the country? Was there no any other, or task team rather, let me not say, because K stands for killings, and a task team can have various responsibilities. Is that correct? Responsibilities, is that correct?
There were many other task teams.
There were many other task teams. And how many, during this period, how many were disbanded?
There's a letter that we read, the one that disbanded all the task teams because we are reintroducing the specialized unit. And the document specifically talks about, and we read it yesterday, that says, let's go to page 11 of 184. Page 11.
Of your statement or of the bundles?
Of the bundle.
Of the attachments, right? Of the annexures.
Page 11.
Page 11.
Can I proceed?
Page 11?
Yeah, page 11.
Yes, I'm on page 11.
$177.
No, it's not here, General. No, General. Which document are we talking about?
My bundle, I don't know what you call it, Chair, but it is page 177 that talks about
Okay. Yeah, you can proceed, General.
you see, from paragraph 6.4.5.1.
Yes.
Chair, all these are task teams, and they are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is 14 so far that I see. But the sentence that I want to say, task teams that are not monitored ran rampant for years without determining or accounting for the gap left where the members were taken from, mostly station level. Task team found operating in provinces are as follows. Then you find your foreign vehicle task team, multiple tour task team. So now the important sentence is this. These task teams should be placed within the murder and robbery unit to capacitate direct focus on a permanent structure with the necessary command and control budget and capability instead of functioning in silos. And it mentions also including political matters team. Now, when you go to the end of this